there we go. See, that's why I got you.
I was ready.
All right. Well, you look good. Do
Well,
you see
thank
me
you.
okay? I
Thank
put this
you.
down because it's so
You know-
bright.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Looks great.
All right. Well, yeah, your energy seems different. Let me tell you what I see energy-wise. I feel you're exhausted about thinking, and at the same time, I feel like you're excited about the future. That's
Yes,
good, but it
that's
feels.
spot on. Yeah, family went through a lot of illness, just like you guys did. So I'm just happy everybody's healthy now and doing good. So
That's good. That's good. I got my Star Wars mug especially out for you. I got my tea. All right. I got my dad. I'll show you. It's my. Don't look at my. Look, there's my laundry. Look at my great office. Oh my! Look, this is. People think I am so organized. Look at that. Look at that. Like seriously.
You got a lot going on.
Oh my God! Look, there's my dad. He's right behind the computer. So if I look up, I'm just looking at my dad, or I'm just looking at my inner thing. But
well,
I also got some empty papers. Because of the energies have been so dense, it's getting harder to really channel like I used to. So I'm hoping the energies will clear up one of these days. And I have been sick, and I've just came out of illness. So you're one of my first people that I'm channeling again, and I haven't channeled in 2 months. So I need my little paper just to get the energies flowing, just so you know.
All right.
That's the annoying thing about being a medium. As soon as the energies globally change, so does your connection, because there's so much interference, there's so much you change, and then it's like, oh God, now I gotta find a way to kind of enhance it and all of that stuff. So, but if you want a copy of this is just me. I'm just gonna do scribbles. I'll show you at the end. If you want a copy of this, let me know, and I'll just scan it and I'll email it to you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna put your name in. And I know we've had a session before, so if sometimes I repeat information by spirits, you know, I always like to explain how I feel them, how I feel their energy. I apologize if I've already mentioned it before.
No, you're fine.
I just don't remember. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3. 4. 4. So I'm just asking for an introduction, just asking if they could, if they're willing to share their name. A lot of male energy stepping forward today. I also have a female energy. I believe this is Carolyn or Caroline.
Yes. Fantastic. Hoping she'd come through.
Okay, so there's still more people I see. So these are the entities that are stepping forward. I do see that there's it almost looks like a blurry crowd behind them. So I think you have a lot of people here. But these are the names that have come in right away. So there is an alien entity. It doesn't look human. Okay. The name is Teal. I don't feel a gender either. There's almost like an kind of weird, but it's like an equality of male and female energy. So if you kind of know what I mean, I don't feel like I'll say he because I don't know, but he's presenting a gender like we would. I also have a Stephen who's stepping forward. I have an angel called Jonathan that's stepping forward. I also have Archangel Michael with me today. And then I have a female energy called Carolyn or Caroline. I'm not 100% sure. This almost feels like Carolyn to me feels almost more connected to your wife. It's almost like she's here to answer some questions for your wife, if that makes sense.
That's
okay.
Perfectly spot on.
Great. So we'll start with them and we'll see if more if more want to speak. Okay, so let's see here. So the first one that's stepping forward to communicate is Archangel Michael. He's saying, first of all, dude, I'm so proud of you. He's saying you haven't picked the easiest journey in this lifetime, and you know that I'm always here to give you kind of an insight, a view through the matrix that you have created, that you are developing, and that you're also attracting. And he's saying, you know, in this lifetime, you have learned to be very patient. You have learned in a way to be the guide to others, the healer to others. You are the pillar that everybody supports on. But you are also learning to be your own pillar. You're also learning to find strength and stability within you in order for you to actually carry those burdens, to carry the load that other people place upon you, not out of spite or out of negativity, but really you are their support. And so it can be a difficult journey to really go through if your own needs aren't met. He says, now, part of that journey, which we, he says in our previous session, which we didn't fully go into, is also your spiritual development, because he says it runs in your family to be spiritually connected and to really be able to foresee future. So he's talking about short-term future. Okay, and so he's saying that is a skill. It runs in your veins, it runs in your blood, is what they're saying. It's been passed on from generation to generation, but if you look at your family, it's not always been fully explored or fully embraced. Let's say it that way. Okay. Mostly out of fear, mostly out of either they didn't understand it themselves or they were fearful of the responses of others. You're the generation, he says, where you and your sibling are here to further explore that, to further explore what we would call future prediction, what we would call being able to glimpse in a short-term future. So not long-term, but short-term. Does that kind of make sense? He's kind of, have you ever seen, there's a movie that he's he's kind of reminding me of, what was that called again? I think it was with, what's their name? Where's Gerald when you need him?
Yeah, there's a guy.
He knows all the actors. The guy from Gone in 60 Seconds, I forgot his name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Nicolas Cage?
Yes, Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
So there's a movie where he has premonition, like he can see a few seconds in the future, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
I don't remember the name of it.
Either,
yeah, I don't remember, but that's what he's showing me. You and your brother have the ability to tap into a few, you know, it could be more than a few seconds, but very short term in the future. And therefore that can help and assist you in making decisions that'll benefit you and your family more, especially in the finance department.
That's
So
always good.
that's always good. He's kind of making me
Okay.
feel like you will be able. He says the more you train your skill, the more you kind of own into it. It's really about remembrance. He says it's not really about learning a new skill. It's really about just claiming it and saying, this is my skill, and there you go. And then you start practicing little bits. Okay, what coffee is my wife going to come home with? It's about little simple things that you try to predict right before it happens. And in doing so, you'll gain the confidence, he says, you'll gain the knowledge on how to kind of tune it up. That's kind of the question, the word that I'm looking for, like tune it up. So it's about practice, and it's about trusting in yourself. He says to a lot of people that might seem weird, but if you can really allow yourself to be immersed into that and to really just have fun with it. Don't get annoyed, don't get frustrated with it. Just have fun with it. See how many I get right? For example, grandma's coming over to see your kids. What's going to be the color of her outfit? Boom, try and predict it, right?
Okay.
Things like that, he says. It's about having fun with this. It's about being playful with it. And then you'll notice that sometimes you'll get it right, sometimes you'll get it wrong, but you'll start to notice that you'll get it more right than wrong. And then that's how you grow, that's how you evolve.
Okay.
And that's going to help you to make better decisions for yourself, for your family, and then for career opportunities as well. Because it just feels like you're a person who does a lot of different things, trying to make ends meet, trying to have fun at the same time. So it's a little bit of that. But it just feels like if you could learn to master that skill, it's going to help you in your future and with your family enormously. Does that kind of make sense? He says.
Yes,
fascinating. So he's saying that is the next step. So the first step, he says, that we talked about was about healing. It was about letting go of fears. It was about finding self strength, getting to know yourself, understanding where you come from, and so on and so forth. You've gone there. Okay, these last couple of years have really pushed you to the limits, have really pushed your emotional body, have really pushed your understanding of oneself, have shown you just how strong you can be, and how you can always find a way to get through things, how you're starting to understand that there's always a solution to every problem. Even though it's sometimes hard or difficult, you'll find it. There's going to be a solution. So you're gaining strength, you're gaining self-wisdom, and you're gaining self-confidence, he says. You still need to work a little bit on the self-love department, he says. You still like to criticize yourself a little bit too much. So let's continue to work on that. But the next chapter is discover your magic. He says, discover the magic that you possess, because you are a magician. He says you have the ability to look into the future. Now, all you need to do is have fun with it and develop it, so you can start to remember who you truly are. And in doing so, helping your family with, for example, certain emergencies that might arise. You might pick up on it before it happens, so you can offer better assistance, and so on and so forth. So it's really a great skill that you've always possessed, but you haven't fully explored because you weren't fully aware of it. You have always placed it upon other people in your family. You've noticed it in the family, he says, but you've never dared to dream that you would have that ability as well, he says. So it's really important to follow through and to really have fun with that. Okay.
That's fantastic.
As far as your health, he says, I keep looking at his name. For some reason, it just keeps popping up. The M, there's something about the M. I don't know if that, maybe it doesn't mean anything, but for some reason, the M, the M, seems to be like highlighted in my head. I don't know why that is.
According to our last session, I have two on my spiritual team with M. So Michael and another Matilda, which is a spirit guide. So that may be why
okay, maybe
resonating
that's
a little extra.
Yeah, maybe they're just joining in. Maybe they're doing it together. Maybe it's a collective thing. Yeah, because that M kept popping up at me. That could be. Very well, very good. Keep up the good work. So he's talking about health. You're a little bit on a roller coaster, he says.
Makes
It's like
total sense.
umbrella, you know, he's like, you've got this whole umbrella effect going, and you're trying so hard, and he's so very proud of you, he says. It's okay. It's okay. You know, you seem to be disappointed in yourself a lot of times, or even in a subconscious level, angry at your body. You're like, why aren't you cooperating with me? He's saying, let that go, let that go. He says, just embrace yourself as perfection. You know, you're the handsome, perfect body. This is you. Okay, this is you, and it's perfect. He says, the more you start to embrace it with just full acceptance, the healing will happen without you having to do the work.
Okay.
Right now, he says, for many years now, you've been doing all the work, trying to get yourself healthy, because you're like, shit, I got to be around a lot because everybody's got issues, and so I got to make sure I'm healthy. He says, don't put that pressure upon your body. You better get healthy, because otherwise, it's about just loving your body. It's about eating healthy and doing, you know, just a normal, healthy routine. But it's really about changing the frequency that you give to yourselves. Okay. Despite the fact that you're really trying to do what's best for your little friend here, he says, you're still seeing it as broken, as disruptive, as it's not where it should be. That is a frequency that'll scramble up your cells. It'll be like, oh, he doesn't love me. That kind of frequencies. Your cells are crying sometimes. So instead, encourage the cells. Love yourself. Love the cells. See the healing. Already have wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, this is amazing. Look at me go. It's about creating the frequency that you want the cells of your body to be in already today, even if it's not there yet. So it's just about changing frequency, he says. And then you'll notice that the body will adjust to the idea of the body. It's what you believe that's going to shape the body and heal the body. And the same is for your wife, for example, and your son and things like that. That'll definitely help them. Although for them, it's more of a life lesson, more of a desired experience from the soul. It can assist in feeling better, having more energy, and really it can change things. It can change things on a genetic level, on a molecular level, he says. But it's almost like you have to be, again, unfortunately, you have to be the leader. You have to be the example, and you have to show them that I can change my body with my mind, without having to do extensive stuff to it. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
So that's something as well that you need to continue to work with. As for your future, he does see a change in career. Okay. And it just feels like something new is going to be offered to you. It's going to be a little bit scary for you because it's going to be something that you're not as familiar with. However, it's going to have a good paycheck attached to it. And this is going to be a new opportunity for you to really learn and expand as a person, learn something new, expand. And so don't be afraid. If it presents itself and it feels right to you at that moment, because sometimes things will present themselves when it's not the right time, but if it feels okay to you, then don't be afraid to explore it. You're always going to do different things. That's just who you are. Otherwise, you would get bored. Your soul gets bored very easily. It's not really good at keeping its focus on one thing for hours and hours and hours. You're too... he says humans would call it distracted, but really what you're doing is you're unconsciously constantly looking at input. You're constantly looking at, I need energy. You're looking for energy all the time. And you do that by creating a lifestyle where there's a lot of variety. Now, there's no life for you. And I'm 18, I get a job, I do the job until I'm retired, and that's not you. Not who you want it to be. You need input, energy, and that keeps you going. So know that the new opportunity will present itself in the near future. Don't be afraid. Okay, because it feels like your first response is going to be like, I've never done anything like that. I don't know if I can do that. Oh no. What if that interrupts with that job and this? He's like, breathe. Okay, it's a good paycheck, and it's going to offer you the chance to meet new people, to learn something new about yourself that you didn't think you could do before. It's just about seizing the day and going for it. Okay.
Excellent. Yes.
It's like, that's all I got to say for today.
That was awesome.
So you also have teal. I don't know if I say it correctly, but it's TEAL. It sounds to me like it's a short for something. I feel like the name should be longer, but maybe we won't be able to pronounce it. I don't know.
Sure.
The way that he's looking to me is kind of like a gray. That's what he kind of looks like. He says an invitation was sent out and we are here to respond. That's basically what he's saying. So I don't know if you've been sending out invitations to communicate or to show themselves. It's almost like you're ready to go, I saw you. That's kind of what it feels like.
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like it's almost like you're ready. Like there's still a lot of restrictive things, like they're still not just, they can't come visit for coffee, unfortunately, not yet, but it feels like an invitation was sent out to you and they're responding to it because they are observing you. They're saying, okay, don't be scared. They're saying it, they don't want you to be scared. They don't want you to be fearful. But it's almost like the way that you are, I'll just say it that way. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but the way that you are in this lifetime is they're very fascinated by you because they're saying, they're observing the emotionality that is linked to the relationships within a human being. But you're an interesting case. One, you're very open to their communication. One, okay, you're not scared. That's a great one too, they say. And two, you really are surrounded by so many different people that you have such a close relationship with. Yet every single one of those relationships is very different from one another. It's almost like you're surrounded by all of these different kinds of people, different personalities, yet you do such a great job in adjusting. This is what they're saying. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, adjusting your character, your persona according to the needs of those other individuals. And they find that very fascinating. You're almost like a chameleon. And so, they just wanted to, again, they wanted to get your approval, if it's okay that they observe how you interact with humans. They're trying to relearn how to communicate to us because they're talking about, there was a time where there was communication, a long time ago, where there was communication with us, but it almost feels like their emotionality with evolution went away. They became very neutral. There was no more emotions. Everything was focused on productivity, if that makes any sense. Creating productivity, but it's almost like they believed that at that time, long time ago, that emotionality was in the way of the creative process. It was a big no-no, they kind of say. I'm translating it in my own way. I don't know if that's how he's saying it. I doubt that that's how he's saying it, but he's communicating with emotion, so I'm trying to translate it in my way. So that was kind of a big no-no. They thought it was the right thing to do. Now they understand it's not, because it almost led to the destruction of their entire race. So they are trying to reconnect, to kind of reflame that emotionality that's somewhere still inside of them, but they haven't reactivated it by observing human beings in how they interact with each other, the relationships, and so on and so forth. In doing so, they are hoping that they can, one, restore their species. Two, they want to have a better communication, better relationships with the human race as well. So they've accepted your invitation, and they're just kind of asking for a favor. Okay, we will try and present ourselves to you so you can see us, so you can communicate to us in whatever way that is. And in return, they just want your approval if they can observe how you interact with people around you, because you're a very interesting case, apparently.
Sure, absolutely.
So he says also you can, he, she, I don't know, you can communicate to him just through telepathy. He'll be able to hear you. He says you've already observed their presence, is what he's saying. So I don't know if you recall anything, but he's just saying the presence has been established already, or you have observed them, maybe in a dream. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, they're not really clear on how they communicated to you, but it feels like their presence was known. So maybe think back. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll reflect on that, sure. Very interesting. Thank you.
They say that they will also try and assist in the development of your communication skills on a telepathic level, if that's okay.
That's great.
Very different energy, that.
Sure.
It's kind of like, feels to me like a strict teacher. It's kind of what it feels like. They don't feel negative though. It just feels like they're they're completely out of touch.
Sure.
There's also a Stephen here. Stephen. This feels like a young man. So it feels to me like he hasn't transitioned that long ago, I think. He's just giving me words in my head, but it doesn't feel like it's a real conversation. He just says, just keep on drumming. Keep on drumming.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just going,
Yeah.
Keep on drumming, he says. He's showing me a picture. So he's drumming with what's his name? Oh, what's that man? Kurt Cobain. Does that ring any bells? Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, of course, yes.
He's showing me he's drumming, like they're drumming together. So it's kind of a picture in my head. It's kind of like a little YouTube video. He says, keep on drumming, because he says the beats always heal. The beats always heal.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know that person, but
yeah,
doesn't feel like family though. I don't feel like it's family.
I understand the message.
Maybe a friend. Maybe a friend. It feels more like a friend. I can see him right here. He's like staring at me. I think he has like dark hair. I don't know. It doesn't feel like family. I don't feel, usually when I see family, I see like roots. They're all connected. I don't think he's family. But he says, just keep on drumming, drumming heals. It feels like the
Okay.
drumming beats will always make you feel better, will always heal. And he's also saying people need music, especially now, he says.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. Maybe ask around in the family. Maybe they know who he is. See here.
Thank you.
There's also Carolyn or Caroline. I
Yes.
wrote it like that, but I could be. I don't know if it's right, but that's how I wrote it.
Yeah. That's it. Yes. My wife's grandmother.
Grandmother, yeah, I think so. She's very gentle, soft. The energy feels protective. It feels loving. It feels supportive. Let's see. I don't know why, but I keep hearing the word Lima. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Lima, we call it, it's supposed to be Lima, we call it Lima. That is a town that's real close to us.
Like Lima, Lima,
Yes.
like that.
Lima, Ohio. We call it Lima, but yeah, Lima, Ohio. Yep.
Oh, I thought it was a country or something that I haven't.
Oh, yeah. It's usually, if you look at it, it's Lima, but it's just a local thing. We call it Lima.
Okay.
Probably actually pronounced Lima, but
I don't know why. Maybe it's a confirmation or something. I'm not sure, but she's just
that makes
mentioning
sense.
that. Maybe I think she's buried there. Or she lived there, maybe. I don't know. Not 100% sure on that one.
It's like
Either way, it feels like it's a confirmation of some sort for your wife.
Okay.
She's making me feel some heavy energy. It's like your wife is on the outside trying to be positive, presenting herself to the world as being very strong. But on the inside, she's crumbling. She's very afraid. She's very scared because she keeps, it's almost like there's a Richard here as well. A Richard.
Yes. Her son,
who's standing next to Carolyn.
yes,
It's almost like there's this deep-rooted fear of dying young, because she looks at her family history and there's so many people who would die at a very young age. That's what it feels like. And she keeps that, this is what they're showing me, like a little baggage, a little package in the back of her head. It's always there, like this person died at 40, this person only died at 60. People die at a younger age in her family, and it scares her to bits. But she needs to let that go. She needs to let it go, because it really is influencing how the illness, they're not giving me a name, but how the illness is evolving. It seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. She has to be going through more and more things that she has to do. That makes sense.
yes,
And it's
totally.
almost like, because of that underlaying, maybe subconscious, maybe she's not fully aware of it, but because of that deep-rooted fear of dying young, she's speeding that stuff up. She's creating that. And so the illness, which is, they're showing me the solar plexus. That's where the issue is, okay? The illness, and I'm not a doctor, so please forgive me, but the illness can be slowed down, but she needs to, one, let go of the idea of dying young. Two, she's always very negative about herself in her mind. She tries to be positive for the outside world, but she's very, what's the right word in English? It's like, I don't know the word. This is what they're showing me. This is what Eric's showing me in my head. It's like she keeps building herself up. She makes a little wall. Toop, toop, toop. She makes a little wall. She's standing on top of the wall. And at the same time, her human that's her spiritual self. She builds a wall and she goes, yes, I can climb this wall. We can do it. We can do it. And she gets to the top of the wall and she's like, yeah, yeah, we did it. And then her human ego is in a tank next to your grandfather. In a tank next to you, yeah. And she just shoots a cannon to her own wall that she just built, and she falls back down. And that's what she constantly keeps doing. She's in this constructive, destructive, constructive. She's constantly destroying what she built. And that, I don't know if that makes any sense, but she's doing that on a very emotional level, very energetic level. And it all comes from fear of not seeing her kids grow up, not being able to do everything she wants to do on a physical level, and so on and so forth. What Carolyn is saying was, one, I'm right there with you. She's with her, okay? Two, she loves her very, very much. Three, she wants to help her heal herself, okay? A lot of, this is what she's saying, don't listen to Western, medicine, okay? Yes, they can help you with the symptoms and all of that stuff, but people can heal from this. People can heal from it. There are a few cases in the world where people have healed themselves through spiritual healing, through a complete change of mind, body, and soul, a complete turnaround. Does the illness start with a C? It's like kind of like Crohn or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So she wants her to believe in miracles. She needs to believe in miracles, because part of this journey for her is to overcome what is impossible, to overcome the impossible through positivities, through plant medicine combined with Western medicine. She doesn't, when you need a surgery, you need surgery, but through conviction, through faith, through hope, through belief systems being put into place, and to completely eliminate the fears that she's holding on to, because what she's picking up on and what she's the source she's manifesting from comes from past generations, because her family has always been very fearful family. Your family is more like, yay, let's have some fun. Her family is more fearful oriented, is more watch out for this, watch out for that, watch out, it's always focused on what could go wrong. And so she's inherited that. Unfortunately, that energy has been passed on. She's here to stop that. She's here to cut that out of her family line. She's the one who's here to stop it. And it's about not fearing death. It's about understanding that she's completely in control of every cell in her body. It's about learning, and you do that, you regain control by feeding everything with positivity, and she'll do that. She has moments, but she always goes back to the fear factor. And so Carolyn's here to help her to she has she says, tell her she has a spiritual team of 10, so she's pretty well covered. She's pretty well covered, she says.
Oh, wow.
But she's there for her. So is grandpa, is what she's saying. It feels to me like grandma and grandpa are together. They're reunited in heaven. Is it possible like they're soulmates, grandma and grandpa? Because it feels to me like
Yeah.
maybe they didn't, I don't think they, it's almost like grandma went first and grandpa was like, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this alone. I can't do my laundry.
It was indeed very
and it
quick.
was like, it's like, I'm following up. That's kind of, they kind of remind me of me and Gerald. It's like, I'm not doing this alone. Hell no. That's kind of what it feels like. They're kind of laughing because they're like, you guys are the same way. They're like, I'm not doing this without you. So she says, well, part of the healing is understanding why you're here. She's here to understand that she is completely in control of the reality that she lives in, including her own body, even if it doesn't always feel that way. It's about her completely disconnecting. It's like she has to cut the cord of centuries of passing on fear. That's why she's sick. Okay. She's literally, it's not an easy thing her soul chose. Okay. She literally decided to take all of that energy from all of the generations and to get that out of the DNA. She's here to change her DNA through thought, belief, trust, surrendering, and so on and so forth. Okay. Not an easy thing to do, she says, but it is a possibility. If she can work on completely releasing her fear of death, her fear of suffering, her fear of struggling, her fear of not being there for her kids, all of that stuff, she will see a change not only in health, but also in life. She will attract more prosperity. She will attract more abundance. And she will be an example to her children that, hey, look at me. If I can overcome this, then so can I, so can you guys. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, it totally does. That's very beautiful. Thank you.
So what her grandma is also, I'm gonna see if I can write it down. She's showing me a book. Okay, and maybe it's something, a healing book, because they're showing me herbs and plants and all kinds of stuff. It's not the medical medium.
Sure.
I don't see his face on there because I know him. Okay, hold on. Let's see. It looks like a green book. That's what the cover, it's green. I'm gonna try and explain it because I don't see the words on the book. It's green. I think it just is herbal medicine. It's a doctor. She's female on the cover, on the back of it. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? It's called, it's something like the book. It starts with the book. I would have to look it up.
Okay.
I'll take a look and see if I can recognize it on some pictures or something. It's definitely green. I can see green cover. It's about, it's not a small book. It's like a big book.
Okay.
It has to do with herbal medicine. There's a female, I can see doctor, the female on the back side of the book. And it starts with the book of, but then I can't see the rest of it. Book of, up. So what I'll do is after we close off, I'll take a look. I'll type in the book of green, whatever doctor. Maybe I'll see it.
Okay.
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 I'm sorry I don't get the name.
No, you're fine. I can imagine that's a tough one to pull through as an individual book. So yeah, I appreciate you looking.
I will look it up, but it almost feels like that's a book that she can get great healing from, is what she's saying. So it's like old medicine.
Oh, cool.
It's not like Like the medical medium is very modern. It's very now. This is ancient medicine. And it feels to me like that's, or at least that's what Carolyn makes me feel. She's very emotional, Carolyn. She uses a lot of emotions. Very sweet. She needs old-fashioned medicine, you know, and that doesn't mean don't go to doctors. I'm not saying that, okay? But it's something that can assist the healing process. Does that make sense? So yeah, I'll put it in there that I put a little mark there. I put a little mark there so I don't forget.
Okay.
So that's the book she needs. It feels like she's recommending that book to really help her and assist her in the healing process. But understand, she says that the biggest healing is in the mind. It's in what you believe, and it's in what you put your energy into. She's she's so proud of her, she says, for being as strong and persistent, that she pushes through the pain, she pushes through the suffering. But she says, don't always praise. She's laughing. She's like, he's gonna get a kick out of this one. Don't always praise Dustin. Praise yourself as well, because she says the journey you've chosen is a very difficult journey. It is a very difficult one to transcend, but your soul knew that it was possible to do that. Therefore, she took the challenge. She accepted the challenge. But she says, you're always praising others for assisting you, but you always forget to praise yourself for having the strength, the courage, the bravery to have picked a journey like this and to still be able to smile at your children. So praise yourself. She says, you're a great mom. You're a great wife. Yes, life is tough. Both of you picked a journey that is way beyond what most other people can experience, she says. But I want her to really see the divine light that she is, because you two together are a whole, she says. And you balance each other out, but you're also a part of each other. So yes, it's great to praise you, she says, but she needs to work on learning to feel that about herself as well. And that's, at this moment, is the biggest hurdle. She cannot feel just how amazing she really is at this moment. And there's nobody who can make her feel that. You can say all the most loving things to her until she feels it. That's when the healing kicks in. Also, she says, look into solar plexus healing. There are things online, music, there are crystals and so on and so forth that can really help rebalance that chakra out. Okay. Because she says it's like she, you know, she feels better, and then she gets worse, and then she does something, surgery or medicine or whatever, and she feels better again, but then it gets worse. It's like it's an ongoing cycle. Things grow, she says. She's just showing me like tumors or stuff like that, and it's that negativity that's festering inside of her. Okay, and it's not because she did something wrong. She is here to clear the bloodline. That's what she's here to do, to get rid of that for the generations to come. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
So is your son. Okay, your son, she says, he's a light. He is an indigo child who is here to show the world that you can overcome anything with a smile. That's what he's here to do. That as long as you use your imagination, as long as you're trying to have fun, as long as you're living life to the fullest, you can overcome any hurdle. He's part of that healing process of the family as well. He's gonna have some ups and downs from time to time, but he's always gonna transcend them, and he's always gonna be stronger after them, and he's just gonna rise up and rise up and rise up until healing has been completely finished. It feels to me like healing, complete healing will occur in his 20s. Okay, so you guys still have a little bit of ups and downs every now and then, but it just feels, she keeps showing me his heart is pure, his heart will heal, his heart is pure, his heart will heal. So it just feels to me like it reminds me of my brother. My brother has, when he was born, he had a hole in his heart. That's kind of what it looks like. And it's completely healed now. My brother's 39, but it took time. You know, he had to go on medication and all kinds of stuff, surgeries and all that stuff. So it just feels like as he grows, he's going to get closer and closer to complete health, but he's also going to be stronger and stronger and stronger. Like he'll have this confidence inside of him. Like, if I can overcome that, I can do anything, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, he's just a lovely, lovely, lovely young man. He has this unique energy is what she's showing me. He's very much ascended. So he's very much into 5D. You guys are trying to get there. I'm trying real hard. She's laughing. She's like, you'll get there, you'll get there. But you guys are like, you know, you're on the move, but you're not there yet. He was born there. He's born in the 5D. That's where his strength, that's where his positivity comes from. In his reality, yes, sometimes things are scary, but he always tries to see the positive approach. He always tries to connect to what's higher than what is presenting itself. That's why he's also a really good brother, although they really they're showing me your daughter's abusing him. It's like that little kid.
That's
like,
that's right. Yeah.
You say she's laughing her butt off, but she's saying that he's gonna have to tolerate a lot. But he loves her so much that, you know, it's okay. He says it's okay. There's a man called Larry that's also laughing. They're just laughing together. It's really funny. Larry's going, he gets that, she gets that from me.
That's great.
Kind of funny. It just feels like your daughter, I don't know how old she is now, but it feels to me like she is a firecracker. Your son is the enlightened, positive, gentle, kind, but also a little bit naughty from time to time, but very creative mind. Your daughter is, nope, life's going my way or no way at all. That's how it is. And she's going to carry that energy into her future. And so boys beware. You're going to go, oh, Lord Almighty.
Oh, no.
She's going to be a little crazy on the boys section, unfortunately. So beware, she says. I'm just giving you a heads up already.
Appreciate that.
Don't try and tell her what to do. You're going to have the opposite effect.
Okay.
So, and she's going to be a tough one to talk to or to talk her out of things. So, just to give you the tips now, that way you're covered.
Great.
Use reverse psychology on this one. You're going to have to.
Okay.
You don't have to do that with your son. Okay. You don't have to do it with Ethan, but you have to do it with Bella because She's going, there's a reason she picked the name Isabella. You didn't pick it. She picked it. She just put it in your head, okay? That's a reason. She's got the attitude of an Italian lady. And that is because she's brought in energy from an Italian life where she was spicy, okay? The reason she joined your team, the reason she joined you in this lifetime is to teach you how to be strong, how to manifest. She is going to be a master manifester because she has the absolute belief that she will get what she wants, period. You can say, no, 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 no. She knows one way or another that's going to show up in front of me. So she's here to help you manifest, to teach you how to do it. Unfortunately, that's going to be challenging for the parents because she's going to manifest a lot of different things. That said, it is her strength. It is her power. And so she is going to be able to manifest anything she wants to experience, including career, including love life, including family life, and so on and so forth. So despite the fact that it's going to be tough for you because you won't have any control over her, the only thing you can do is make her understand that she's in control of her journey, but also she is responsible. So if something goes wrong, told you so. You know, it's about, hey, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I would advise this and that. Do with it what you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I will advise you. And then you're laying the responsibility with her. However it, you know, turns out, that's going to be on you. That's going to be her strength, though. So it's not don't try and break it. Don't try and control her. The more you try to control, the more she's going to push back. The more you are just present and receptive to what she has to say, the more she will convey in you, and the more she will trust you with what she wants to do. Therefore, that'll give you a better understanding of what she's thinking, what she wants, what she's thinking about, and then you can use some subtle hints and it's going to be very subtle. You're going to have to approach her in a very subtle way, use some reverse psychology techniques in order to guide her. But just know and understand that you won't be able to control her actions or or her decision making. If she's going to make a mistake, let her make the mistake. Okay. That's just how she is. Your son, Ethan, is very different. It's apples and pears. So he needs reassurance. He needs to be able to talk to you. He needs to express himself. So very different children, she says, but just like the entire family, very different personalities. But all of that, you guys picked this family because you wanted to learn from each and every one. They are learning from you, you are learning from them, and you are gaining a lot of wisdom and a lot of strength, a lot of expansion in this lifetime due to the different characters that you chose to surround yourself with. So you're learning something, you, your wife, every single family member is learning something from the other. Does that make sense? Therefore, that's where the variety is, because you do have families, she says, where everybody's a copycat of one another, but nobody's learning anything because they're the same. You guys wanted a very diverse family in order to learn and absorb and experience as much as you can in one lifetime. Now you're thinking, oh boy, should not have picked that one. That's what I always think too. I'm like, what did I do to myself? Oh Lord, so funny.
That's fantastic.
Anyway, she just wanted to be here for your wife. She's not telling me her name. I forgot her name, so I'm sorry. But she wanted to be here for her and just really support her and give her the strength to make the changes and therefore embrace the journey that she's here to do. She didn't choose to suffer. She chose to change history line of the family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Which is just as important as history globally. It's equally important, she says, because that's how your family line moves into the 5th dimension. It cannot move in there until that inherited energies, those negative inherited energies, are cleared. And it just feels like her parents, although sweet, are not able to break that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
As a job that she wanted to do. So they're saying just only positivity for the future, and she will start feeling better and better and better and better. As for your daughter, they don't foresee any health issues for the future.
Great.
Just a normal cough or the normal stuff, but nothing severe.
That's excellent.
She's too stubborn for that. She's too stubborn for that. Jonathan, she's laughing. She says, just know that we love you.
Oh, thank you.
So Jonathan is an angel.
I have wondered about him because I've looked up everything about that name. I can't find any, traditional reference for him.
No, but I've had him a few times. I think I've had him 4 times now that he's with people. But if you look at it from and that's the thing, people will look up angel names from a biblical perspective. I'm not even going to go into the biblical thing. It's, understand this. Let me explain it this way. Angels don't have names. There's no need. Why? They're never incarnated. They're always in a higher dimension, very close to God's source energy. And they're really here to help guide the energies. And you have angels, what we call archangels, right? We have named them. The collective has given them Michael, Raphael, Gabriel. They are specific energies. They're all very unique, just like you and me. We're all unique beings. So are the angels. But we're the ones who gave that energy a name, and that energy a name, and that energy a name. And so you have the archangels, which can collectively, okay, they help individuals in order to help the collective. They can intervene with individuals. A lot of times we'll ask them to assist us because we know we came down here to assist in the collective healing on Earth, for example. So are you. You're a guide, you're a healer, you're here with an important task, okay? Not everyone, people who are still in 3D, they're just here to, start the process of experiencing physicality and all of that stuff. But once you get to a 4D level, which is where you are, you really take on bigger tasks in life. I'll say it that way. And so you have the archangels who are here to guide and steer the collective energies of the entire universe in a direction where the energies are constantly flowing, positive, negative, okay? Energy cannot be stagnant. It has to constantly be in motion. It's it's kind of like absorption. How would I call it now? It's not the right word. Kind of like a heart. It has to pump. It contracts, it creates, it contracts, it creates, it contracts, it creates. It's kind of a recycling thing. But not in a way that people think recycling, it'll disappear. People are so scared of stuff. It's not like that. It's just energy that pumps like a heart. Okay, this is what the universe does. This is God. It's a big pumping heart of energy with consciousness. The angels are there to make sure that it continuously flows. And so they guide the creations of the individual subconsciousness into making sure that we're constantly having positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay. We don't really like it down here, but that's how it is. And so you also have angels that are a little bit on a lower frequency, so below the archangels. So this is frequency, not status. Okay. They're not better than the other ones. Okay. It's just a different frequency. And these are the ones that usually are not as known, right? Because they're not addressing, or they're not doing things on a collective scale. Okay. For example, Archangel Michael, many millions of people all over the world will have had contact with him, because he's trying to collectively move our energy into a certain direction. Okay. What we do here affects everything. And that's where they're focused. Jonathan is more of what I call them, like angel guides. They have never been incarnated. They are also at a higher frequency than the normal guides that we have, but they are working more on individual, on an individual level, more on a earthly level, we'll call it that, not on the universal level, but more you here on this earth. Okay, because you are also in many different planets and many different dimensions. You're a multi-dimensional being, so you're a little bit everywhere right now as we speak. But these angels focus more on the individual character. Now here's Destin. Destin is being helped by Jonathan. There's 3 or 4 more that I've seen Jonathan stop by. So not as much as Archangel Michael, for example, but that's because they're working on a larger scale. So Jonathan, he's going, well, I'm glad you have to explain it to him. I figured he'd figured it out by now. Sorry, though, she's the messenger.
That's awesome.
He's kind of a goofball. He reminds me of Eric's energy. He's full of love for you, though. But he is the one who can. He can intervene. Like, say, you're almost falling off your ladder, but you're not supposed to fall off your ladder, otherwise you'd be dead. He'll intervene and make sure you don't fall off. Like he'll help you, or he'll push you so you can grab hold or something, right? Guides can't do that. Their frequency is not high enough to change the reality. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you have an archangel, what we label an archangel, who's helping you with insights and understanding into your own matrix, so you can then be guided to move in a direction that is not only good for you, but also for the collective. Jonathan is more of, I need to help him, protect him, make sure he survives this journey. Doesn't go home until it's his time, until you decide, how you designed your exit. He's here to really assist on a more personal level, but also has the abilities to change and manipulate your reality to protect you, to guide you, to do all kinds of stuff. Does that make sense? A little bit.
Yes, that's amazing.
Jonathan is going, well, they've already said a lot. I don't know if I can add more to that. But he says the only thing that I still wanted to add is understand that you're very special. Understand that you are he's showing me interconnected with different worlds. He says that's why you always go into your head and you always wander off. It's like you're a wanderer of different dimensions. Like all of a sudden you'll start daydreaming and you're thinking about this, or you'll see a planet, or you'll see a ship, or it's almost like you have these glimpses, fragments that you can't put your finger on. What is it exactly? It's like you have your head's full of fragments of different worlds, different realities. And he says, not a lot of people have access to that, but you do. The thing is, he says, I'm going to tell you something really bizarre, but let it sink in. He says, because you got these fragments, you're trying to understand it with your human mind. You're like trying to dissect it. What does it mean? What did I see exactly? You're trying to understand it. You can't, he says. You can't. So he says, what I want to offer you is a tool that might help you. And it's a little bit of a difficult one from a human ego, but you know how sometimes you can look at things and then you kind of zoom out and your eyes get blurry, but you're seeing other things?
Yes.
He says you have to do the same thing with your mind. You can look at what your little fragment, or you can try and hold on to the memory of what that fragment was, but then just let it go. Just zoom out, he says. Zoom out with your mind. Don't think of anything anymore. Just let it zoom out. And you're going to notice that you're going to get memories. You're going to feel things. And then it's important to write that down. Write down what you receive without you being connected, without you putting any input into it. Don't. Does that kind of make sense? Don't think about it. It's like shut down. It's like shut down the human thinking machine and connect to it, but then let it go. And then just zoom out like you do with your eyes. Zoom out in your head like you're kind of like high on drugs. Zoom out. He says, you know, and then you'll notice that all of a sudden you'll remember something, or you'll see something more than you saw before. And then it's important to write it down. And after a while, you'll get all the puzzle pieces and you'll figure it out.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
So, you know, if your wife goes, what's wrong with you? There's dust. And
she's already used to it. Yeah.
Just tell her I'm zooming out. I'm zooming out.
I'm zooming out.
So, because he says you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom inside of you that you can access. You just need to stop trying to comprehend it. Universal knowledge, wisdom, universal truth cannot be understood. It has to just be experienced. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute, he says, and just think about that. That's why he says that Emma can channel, because she doesn't think about what she's going to say. She just starts talking. It's about not including your human mind into the reception of the information. As a human, you're being taught that you always need to think, observe, think, dissect in order to find a solution, in order to find an answer. Unfortunately, because of that training, that mental training that was imprinted into you, most people have lost the ability to communicate to universal truth, to communicate to universal communication, because unfortunately, that's not how you access it. Universal communication comes through the heart chakra, and it comes through the inner eye. Those two aligned creates the translation, the access point to all information of all that is, was, and will be. For humans, that's hard to comprehend because you're programmed to analyze and observe everything before you take action. Just understand that channeling, whether it's spirit, communication, wisdom, the archives, whatever it is you want to channel, you want to connect with, cannot be understood. It has to be experienced. So it always starts here. And in order for a human being to get here, they have to bypass the subconscious mind, go into the unconscious mind, and that's where they access it. That's why so many people see things when they meditate, because they're shutting down the subconscious mind and accessing they're shutting down the conscious mind and accessing the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is always emotionally based. Does that make sense, he says?
Yes.
That burr, lots of homework for you.
Okay.
Do you have any last questions for them?
Pretty much covered all of them. I did. I had one. one experience that I wasn't sure was a dream or a lucid dream. To me, it was a
Okay.
lucid dream, but it was an experience I had where I was guided into this rocky outcrop that I had a forest all around me. I had a huge mountain, like the Paramount Mountain that you can imagine, then a lake. And I had this experience where I was guided to this natural spring where I went into the spring and I started hearing the voices of the elementals, the lake, the trees, the mountain. And I don't, it was such a beautiful experience. I just wasn't sure if that was just a dream, if it was something lucid, if it's a real place and some kind of reality. But it's kind of an off question, but I've always kind of wondered because
it's a good question. I'm just listening and seeing what I can receive. So so the name Natuki comes in.
Okay.
This is in connection to a lifetime with her.
Oh.
Okay, so what she's showing me is at that moment, you were connecting to that lifetime. You were re-experiencing, because it's like you and her together. I don't know. She doesn't feel like you guys were lovers or anything, but it just feels more like family.
Yes.
You and her had the ability to listen to the energies, to talk to nature, to talk to the mother, is what she's saying. Talk to the mother and talk to Father Sky. She says all humans have that ability. I've just forgotten how to do it. So this is you were tapping into your other lifetime, and she says there's a reason for it. There's a reason why you're tapping into it, because you're really longing to feel a close connection with your environment. You're really longing to communicate on a more deeper level than just human to human, human to animal. You really want to feel one with your surroundings, because with everything that's been going on in the world, she says, and it just felt very chaotic and it felt very restrictive. It really made it very clear to you that you are a prisoner. You felt imprisoned in a society, in a world, while your soul knows that, no, this is supposed to be liberation, freedom. This is supposed to be free will, free choice. And so you're kind of resisting that control that was being placed upon you, that imprisonment. You were resisting it. And therefore you were tapping into another you, another version of you in that lifetime. That is happening at this moment because there's no time and space if you want to go into that. But you were escaping. You wanted to get out of the imprisonment, and you wanted to in a way feel connected again to everything around you, the trees, the birds, the water, the sky, the stars. You wanted to feel that power, that union, that it's kind of a united, like feeling family with everything around you, every plant, every leaf, every tree. That's something you experience on a very deep level. You didn't live very long in that lifetime, but you really had a bond with your physical reality, higher than we can ever imagine at this moment, because people think we've evolved. We've actually gone backwards. It's really funny. Eric always laughs. He always says to me, oh, people think they're so smart, but they actually went backwards, because the Cro-Magnon men knew more about the world than we do now, because we were so connected back then. So it was you trying to escape a feeling that you really did not like. It's like, no. Your soul was like, hell no, this is not how it's supposed to be. So you were trying to escape a reality and energy that you did not like, therefore connecting to an energy, a lifetime where you remember on a subconscious level. Not your human ego won't remember that, but your soul knows, in that lifetime I was free. I felt one with everything around me. I felt like I could talk to anyone, anything. Everything had spirit, and everything felt like family to me. I felt loving and warm and supportive. And that's what happens. So you're trying to escape your current reality by moving into another dimensional plane. Good on you. I don't have that. I've tried. I'm not really good at it. So I'm a little bit jealous that you can do that. But Jonathan's laughing. He's like, see, it just feels like you have so many abilities, but you're always trying to understand it. And he says, don't try to understand it. Just enjoy it, experiencing it. And the more you just move into a state of being, a state of experiencing, instead of a state of understanding, dissecting, analyzing, the more you move into that space, you will experience things that will blow your mind. That you'll be able to write books about all the planes that you're visiting and all the things that you're seeing. Okay. But again, that's part of your journey is, let go of the fear, be a guide to others, and so on and so forth, self-development, self-strength, self-trust. But it's about understanding that you have, not understanding, it's about experiencing the abilities that have always been there, but have never fully been allowed to emerge due to the human analytical mind. That makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
There you go. Any other questions?
I think that's it, really. I think he covered everything I can think of.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to look for that book. Hopefully I can find it. I'm not 100% sure, but I will do my best. I'm going to just ask Spirit to guide me in the right direction. And I'll send you a picture of it and the name if I find it. Can't make any promises. Anyway, that's what my little thingy looks like.
All right.
I'll scan it to you. And I'll email it to you. Either way, life hasn't been easy for none of us, especially when we're in the higher dimension. If you're following blindly, okay, you'll be fine. When you get to a state where you start to understand that, hey, this is my reality. No, I want to be free to make my own decisions here. Once we get into that state of understanding how we could be as a human being instead of how we are today, it becomes very hard because we start to resist, because we just know and feel that that's not the right direction we should be moving into. But according to all my spirits, we're moving in the right direction, because unfortunately things need to be broken down before we can rebuild it and create a new future for ourselves. So we just need to stay strong, stay positive, and just realize that, hey, it's okay to have ups and downs. Get yourself a breakdown to say, fuck it, it's not my day. Surrendering, tomorrow will be better. Allow yourself to have bad days. Allow yourself to not be as strong as we would like. Take breaks when you need to, but also dare to dream and dare to take challenges and risks, because it's the only way that makes life, in my point of view, worth living. I've taken many, many, many more risks. Half the time I have no clue what the fuck I'm doing, and I do it anyway, because I'm like, fuck you, fear, you ain't gonna win. I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'll figure it out as I go. It's just how I've always lived my life. Because I also have fears. It's just part of my generation. My mom and my parents, my grandparents have always been fearful on both sides of the family. So I'm also here to break that chain and break that for my children. My children are pretty much fearless in most of the things, except my daughter, my youngest. She's scared of bugs, bugs and birds, but she's getting much better. They're difficult times, but just see it as growing pains. Humanity is growing, and in order to get those who want control over us and want to manipulate us in every way possible, so we wouldn't evolve, so we wouldn't become more self-sufficient, more self-empowered, in order to get rid of those energies, things have to break first. They have to fall apart, because it's been like that since we were created. That's why we were created, was to use us, abuse us, and manipulate us. So in the future, whether it's in our lifetime still or not, I don't know. They never give me a timeline because they always say, well, it depends on you. And I go, well, I get mad at them for not giving me a timeline, but just know that we're here for a reason, honey. And so is your wife, so are your beautiful kids. And just hold on to loving each other, supporting each other, and just continue to see the magic. Fuck the world. That's how I say it. Fuck the world sometimes, you know. I love everyone. I love humanity. I love the world. But sometimes I just say fuck to all of the manipulation and the God. Sometimes when I look at the what people are focusing on, I'm going, seriously?
Right.
You know, let's focus on love. Let's focus on compassion. Let's focus on helping each other. But that's just how it is. We live in different dimensions in the same reality, and we just have to forgive each other, love each other, be there for each other no matter what happens. Okay?
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing. All right, honey. I'll let
Thank
you
you
go.
so much.
I'm
Thank you for
going to
everything you
send
do.
you the recording. It's called wetransfer.com. So you should get an email from them today. And then there's like a download link. You click on it, you agree to their terms, and then you click on the download link again, and then you should be able to download it onto your computer. Sound good?
Thank you for that.
And if you don't get it, let me know. If you have problems opening it, don't worry. And I'll send this to you as well. And hopefully I can find the book for your wonderful, beautiful, divine wife. Okay.
Thank you so much for that.
All right. Give your kids a big hug for me, and
Absolutely.
have a good day. Okay.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Take care.